felt my body tense as I glanced up. Silverfish are easily one of the more deadly species of Grimm. They sleep in large groups in caves, waiting for an inattentive son of a bitch to wander into their domain. Then the victim makes any sort of sound, followed by the screeches of the dam, and then back to silence as if nothing happened. They were still fast asleep due to primarily being a nocturnal Grimm. White masses with black lines leading to the piranha-like mouth that fuel its fiery venom. I glanced back at the woman following me. Thankfully, she wasn't much of a talker. It would have long since died if the contrary was true. I looked back ahead in order to dodge accidental eye contact. Neither of us seemed particularly fond of being each other's partner. I heard shuffling above us and instinctively put my hand on the handle of my sword, ready in case they decided to wake up early. I stopped moving, looking every square inch of the cave's ceiling, but only seeing a couple of them shifting their positions. Why can't this tunnel be shorter? Hell, why couldn't it just immediately lead to a doorway, to the goal? I wanted to growl, but again, any sort of sound may set these little shits off. I let out a slow, near inaudible breath to relax and kept moving forward. After a few places, I heard the cautious footsteps of my companion. Every step, however, made it harder to stay fully calm. I was desperately looking for some sort of passageway to freedom. Yet, there was only the carved stone. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. It took all I had to not shout in frustration. There have been too many times back home when I was caught in a cave with these foot-long monstrosities. Well, this is just great, Rowan. You just have the worst luck in the history of Beacon. First, the Nevermore, then you found the most sour-looking woman in Vale, and now we're here in this stupid cave and can't do a damn thing other than move forward or waste time going back and searching for an alternative route. I started to feel like the cave was closing in and it pissed me off. I'm about to be chieftain of a hunting village. And I should have just teamed up with Olivia. Would have been easier. We already complement each other and she is not nearly as hasty as I am. She would have thought things through and then probably already be on the airship back to Beacon. But no, I just have to have this proof to myself I'm independent thought process, and now I'm here. Not that any of this complaining is getting us anywhere. I kept scanning the walls, praying to Verdos we would find an entrance somewhere before something as simple as a loose rock woke the silverfish up. How long has it been? 10 minutes? 15? It feels like an eternity. I was just beginning to lose hope when I saw a dim light ahead. I had to fight the urge to run. It would be a real asshole thing to finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, only to die without ever reaching it. The dim light was small and oval, attached to a brick wall and placed above an old rusted door. I heard the woman stop behind me. I gripped the handle. I could feel the slight, jagged, and irritated texture of rust in my grasp. I glanced over at the latch of the door. I'm gonna open this, and you're gonna hurry in, no hesitation. I did not dare look at her to avoid a partnership. I heard the shuffling above and closed my eyes, putting my free hand on my sword. I really hated my luck. I gripped the handle tightly and pulled with all my might. The door screeched and arched as it opened. Go! My yell echoed into the cave as the fellow hunter in training ran in, just as the entire cave began to glow orange with the fire of the silverfish. I slammed the door behind her. Sorry, Olivia. I can't keep our promise. Come on, then!
The door had slammed faster than I could react. My eyes widened, hearing the screeches of the awakened Grimm, the glow of orange and yellow coming from the windows. I could imagine the scene of the Faunus holding his sword at the ready, his fate accepted.
Come on then!
The Faunus screamed as the sound of hundreds of Grimm charging towards him, followed by the sounds of steel scraping against Grimm armor. Little sounds of stifled pain escaped his mouth. I bit the inside of my cheek in frustration at what I was about to do. I pulled out my pistol and loaded a red dust bullet in. I took a focusing breath and turned the handle immediately, firing at the roof of the tunnel before grabbing the Faunus and pulling him in. Before the stone collapsed, I closed the door and held my body against the door. I looked at the Faunus, seeing a red molten ooze coming from several wounds across his arms and legs. His shirt was torn in various places, revealing his back to me. Scars of the past were ever present all over his body. Perhaps if I held a different life, I would have been more sympathetic. Yet scars were just another part of this life. Soldier or hunter, they are no different in risks. Yet this Faunus was willing to just throw his fate away for a stranger. Not uncommon for those who hold the title of hunter, yet even so, there was no hesitation in his actions. Even the bravest of soldiers would hesitate, especially when they knew that death was calling their name. He had begun to turn around. I looked away as quickly as I could to avoid the contractual stare.
I'm glad you saved me.
I could have left you for dead without a second thought.
But you didn't.
Why did you sacrifice yourself?
Because even if temporary, we're a team. I don't let my team die on me.
The sincerity spoken so plainly surprised me. I looked at him, letting him have my full attention for the first time. He was well built. He had the smallest of smiles, even with his wounds. His eyes looked exhausted, but no other signs of fatigue was showing. Our scrolls pinged as we continued staring.
I guess we're stuck with one another.
I suppose so. Neither of us were happy, nor disappointed in this scenario. Ashe Volkov.
Rowan and Ashe.
I walked over, gripping his wrist and helping him up. He groaned in pain as he stood to his full height.
So, I guess we walk to the rendezvous point?
Stay focused. We walked towards the door on the opposite side. The cat Faunus, Rowan, opened it to see a large tower with a spiraling staircase leading to its summit. I reached for my rifle, looking through the scope, seeing students beginning to gather. One person in each pair holding what seemed to be a playing card.
This doesn't feel right.
How so?
As overwhelming as the Grimm we've seen are, I don't think they are nearly dangerous enough to run out an entire settlement.
What's your assessment?
There has to be something bigger here.
Before I could say anything more, the ground beneath us started shaking. You just had to speak, didn't you? I kept a firm grip on the rifle, trying to see what was going on. Only a few students seemed to be getting prepared for a fight. Others were attempting to find shelter. Any ideas? Rowan looked at me. A nervous, intense energy exuded from him. Great. Just great. I switched the magazine for dust rounds.
Here it comes!
2 reptilian heads akin to a viper's head rose from the ground, shattering the unstable earth. I began thinking, okay, just a king taijutsu, nothing challenging for my research. Then another head, followed by another. And then another.
Hydra!
A huge clawed hand erupted from the ground. It pulled itself upwards as its large, slender body snaked its way out of its burrow. All 5 heads roared and began to slither independently, attempting to get any student it could swallow. My eyes were wide. There were reports of Grimm this size, but they were so rare. I did not even attempt to imagine. The cat fauna shook me and forced me to focus.
Now's not the time for second guesses. I need you to take as many shots as you can. I'm going down there.
This whole headfirst into danger is a habit of yours, isn't it? Fine, go. You aren't allowed to die, is that clear?
It's not the plan.
He ran down the decline while I found my footing to prepare to give my new partner as much cover as he needed.